to the Portal Podcast. I'm Bob Colbert, your host of the Portal Podcast. Today, we're starting a new journey. This journey purports to probably be at least 4 to 7 months long, weekly, of course. So, what we're going to be doing is taking a journey to Mars, a human journey to Mars. And let me see if I can get. I don't like looking like there. So, uh, so we're going to take a human journey to Mars, and I went ahead and created a few more scenes. If you're wondering why I wasn't on last week, uh, we had Mother's Day last week, and so I wanted to spend some time with the family. So I opted not to have a podcast that week, and it was also our wedding anniversary. So we had kind of two things happening at the same time. And so I thought it very important to spend a little time with the family. Plus, I needed to kind of work on a content break and kind of get my head into another area, which is what we're talking about today. Is let me see if I can get this right. SpaceX. So what you're looking at is you're looking at the flight deck. Let me move this. It's getting on my nerves. So you're looking at the flight deck of the Starship, SpaceX Starship, in fact. So um, if you've been watching what's happening in Boca Chica, Texas, you will know that there's a star factory being built, and in that star factory, they're building the next generation rockets that will take us not only back to the moon, but will take us on to Mars. Now, the goal is to become a multiplanetary species, meaning humans, and will just like the Ark in Genesis, we will bring plant material and animal materials, animals, and all manner of life from Earth transplanted to Mars. Of course, once it's on the planet, can survive, it will take its own evolution journey. Uh, there's a lot of environmental factors, as well as the Mars is much smaller than the Earth, so the gravity is about 0.375, something like G's of what it is on Earth. So in that case, you could really expect over a few generations, especially let's just say humans that were born on Mars, probably wouldn't ever be able to return to Earth. So probably would have to be exclusively on Mars, because I don't think they could come back and be able to handle the Earth's gravity. But who knows? May, with some exoskeletons and things like that, technology might allow that transport. Likewise for us, since we're used to a heavier gravity well on Earth, going to Mars, that we'll experience as humans some issues as well, physically and environmentally, things like that. So I want to kind of show you firstly on the Starship. So this is kind of the flight deck notional. So these would be SpaceX uniforms, could be NASA or other uh, country. You know, there's nothing that says that SpaceX can't sell starships to worldwide as a product, spacecraft to journey to Mars. It could eventually wind up being like a space liner. So I'll show you another picture. This is the flight deck of the Starship, and this will be the passenger notional. So what you're looking at, you wouldn't normally expect to see windows on a spacecraft. Windows are notorious, are pretty much a stress concentration factor. So notoriously for being a weak spot on a space vehicle. So what you're seeing is a virtual window that could be captured by cameras and posted on screens inside the Starship passenger area. So all of this would look more like a traditional just can. The Starship is currently, this generation, 9 meters across, and that's, one moment, I'll calculate it exactly. 9 meters to feet is 29.5. Let's call it 30. 9 meters is equivalent to about 30 feet in diameter. So that's a very big spacecraft. And I think the next generation they're planning for it to be like 12 meters. So that's even bigger. So, as eventually what you would expect, this is about a 40 passenger compartment here, plus the flight deck has an additional 10. So, let's say 50 astronauts that are transported to Mars. And yeah, so the next generation that would be 12 meters theoretically could carry 100 astronauts, 10 on the flight deck, say, and 90 in the passenger compartment or multiple passenger compartments. And of course, you can always envision that there would be accommodations for sleeping quarters, restrooms, entertainment, exercise facility, storage facility for payloads that would be dropped off onto Mars, equipment. Probably a couple of those, maybe vehicle type transport once you get to Mars, and of course building supplies to build habitats, and probably plant material and things like that that are captured and frozen and stuff. Now, eventually, I wouldn't expect it to happen in the near term, but eventually you would expect that genetic manipulation of animal species that could handle the environment of Mars would most likely be produced either on Mars or potentially researched on Earth, or both, and stuff. A good example would be tardigrades. Tardigrades are known to be like water bears. They're very, very small, microscopic kind of creatures. If you invite you to research that, is TARDIGRADES, tardigrades. They're cute looking buggers, but they kind of look like a wrinkled up water bear, usually in water or soluble substances, liquids, and things like that. But they're known as a species called extremophiles, meaning they can handle the harshness of environments on Earth, the most harshest, extreme cold, extreme hot, radiation, can be dormant for long periods of time, come back and be rejuvenated, could potentially survive on meteorites while traveling through space, probably could survive on Mars environment, right? Even today, low oxygen environment, and stuff. So perhaps we might be looking at doing some genetic manipulation. Since they are small creatures, they could be upscaled to a larger size so you can see them. And you could envision also doing plant material as well. we will be using in situ resources. Those are resources that are on Mars, soil, for instance, rocks and things like that, minerals, anything there, water, to further human species. Eventually, as humans migrate to Mars and become long-term citizens of Mars, probably some may not ever journey to Earth or can't journey to Earth because they were born on Mars and just couldn't handle the gravity well. So we may have a two-planet species of humans, and we may deviate somewhat as far as what we look like. I could envision people on Mars eventually would grow much taller than Earthlings, and still could potentially be as tall as 10 feet tall. Very tall, very skinny, things like that. I could envision that over time, long time. So yeah, so what I've been doing is I've been watching a documentary movie almost. It's called Mars. It was developed by National Geographic. Uh, I believe that this is in the 2016 2018 time frame. It was a TV show. It's currently on Netflix, and I just happened to see it one day. So I've been over the last month watching it, and it's 2 seasons long. And let's see, let's see. Uh, okay. Looks like season one had 7 episodes. These it's called Novo Mundo. Not sure what that means. Probably beginning. Grounded. Episode 3 is Pressure Drop. Episode 4 is Power. Episode 5 was Darkest Days. Episode 6 was Crossroads, and episode 7 was Making Mars. That was season 1. Then on season 2, there was looks like 6 episodes. Episode 1 was We Are Not Alone. Episode 2 was Worlds Apart. Episode 3, Darkness Falls. Episode 4, Contagion. Episode 5 was Power Play. Episode 6 was The Shakeup. So what it has is a cast of were very good actors. One is Jihai Hannah Sung. That is the character she played. Alberto Amon, Javier Delgado. He was like an engineer. Clementine Poidatz is Amelia Duran. And Anna Maria Marinks, Marta Kamen. Nick Whitman played Oliver Lee. Kazima Shaw played Leslie Richardson. Stephen Petronek is an author, self-author, and not sure what he played role. Probably the story. Probably it may have been written. And of course, Elon Musk, CEO and lead designer of Starship. Neil deGrasse Tyson, self-director, and Hayden, astronomer and cosmologist. Oliver Martinez is Ed Grant. Gunnar Cothry was Mike Glenn. Rotzi Sternberg, Jen Carson. Now, I believe that Rotzi Sternberg is playing on the FBI show now. And there were several others. I won't go through all of them. And then you got Robert Zubrin, president of the Mars Society. And the captain, commander, I won't spoil what happens to him in the first episode. His name was Ben Cotton. He plays Ben Sawyer. There's a bunch of characters. And I'm sure there was several astronauts that helped to kind of show the technical aspects of what it would be like on Mars. So I'll read a little bit about that. So Mars is an American TV series. I'm looking on Wikipedia. June Song, her twin sister Capcom, a mission control on Earth, later Secretary General of International Mars Society, the multinational organization funding the expedition. Let me get to expedition. So Mars is a hard science fiction television series produced by National Geographic. It premiered on November 14, 2016, and on its channel, National Geographic and FX. Prior to its official air date, it was launched in a streaming format on November 1st, 2016, and it blends elements of real interviews with a fictional story of a group of astronauts as they land on the planet Mars. The series based on Stephen Petronek's book, How We'll Live on Mars, written in 2015. The fictional narrative initially alternates between the years 2016 and 2033, and using present-day nonfiction interviews to explain those events that are unfolding in the story. Over the television series, the fictional narrative progressed through to the year 2042 as the colony develops and matures. The series was filmed in Budapest in Morocco. A companion book to the series, Mars, Our Future on the Red Planet, October 2016, details the science behind the show. A prequel episode called Before Mars was produced and released conjointly with the series. It tells the fictional story of a moment in life of one of the astronauts and the decisions she made to get involved in science. I haven't seen that one. On January 13, 2017, it was announced that National Geographic had renewed the series for a second season, and that premiered on November 12, 2018. The lead actress there, Jiha, confirmed by her official Instagram that the series had been canceled after only 2 seasons. So, the premise of the story is, in the year 2033, a crew of 6 astronauts launched from Florida Cape Center, Kennedy Space Center, on a journey to be the first people to set foot on Mars. During the descent into the Martian atmosphere, there's a malfunction with their spacecraft, the Daedalus. They land 75 kilometers away from their planned habitat. On Earth, their progress is being monitored. In the second season, story then jumps ahead several years into the future after Daedalus astronauts have built a full-fledged colony called Olympus Town, having established humankind as an interplanetary species. Season 2 examines the impact that humans have on the red planet and the consequences the planet has on us. Intermixed with the story is the interview footage of real-life figures in the present, as well as the fictional crew and their mission control. The real life, present day interviews are with various scientists from NASA or ESA or any space agencies, other uh, Russia, engineers and other public figures such as Elon Musk, Susan Weisbauer, Andy Weir, uh, Robert Zubrin, and Neil deGrasse Tyson, among others, about the difficulties that the crew might face on a journey to and living on Mars. All right, enough of that reading. Wanted to kind of show, let me go back to the library. Whoops, say, wrong one. There we go. All right. I wanted to see see if I can do this. I didn't have full time to prepare. Let's see. Sorry about that. Some more scenes. Hopefully you can see that. Well, anyway, so if you're departing Mars, let's just do a fictional year in January 17th, 2014. We could use the same time, just bring it to present day in 2024. Just pretend 2024. So you would then travel along this path to the shortest and arrive on Mars in August of 2024. So if you left in January 17th, 2024, you'd arrive on Mars in August 2024. So that would be February, January, March, April, May, June, July, August. That's an 8-month journey. And then when you're leaving Mars, let's just say you stayed on Mars for a while, and then you departed, say, November 30 in 2025. No, you're on Mars on August 2024. You would be departing Mars on November 2025. So you got quite a few days, 458, I believe. Days. So then you would arrive. Let's say you would depart Mars. I am sorry. You would depart Mars on November 30, 2025. You would arrive back on Earth July 24, 2026. So that would be another 8-month journey. Okay. So it would be 8 months there and 8 months back with a stay of about 458 days. So your outbound's 224 days, your returns 237 days. So you would be in a different gravity environment. Well, some fraction of microgravity and 0.375 gravity for 919 days of your life. And all the while you would be exposed to the cosmic radiation departing the sun. And if you remember, we just had a solar maxima where you could see the northern lights. and that was because there were some flares that shot out on a cosmic storm. I mean, the storms on the sun, and those cosmic rays hit the Earth, and it went all the way down as far as its impact, all the way as far as Alabama in the United States. So if it were to hit Mars, and remember we have a pretty thick atmosphere, so if it hit on Mars, it would have been much more detrimental because there's the atmosphere is probably about 1% of Earth. So that's the thing. When we decide to live on Mars, we're going to be living on the land, probably have to go underground. So let me pull this up. It doesn't look like I can do that. Hold up. Let me see. Anyway, I can't show that. Well, I'll tell you what, hold up. Why am I saying about, nah. Let me see if I can enlarge this. Isn't that interesting? Well, can't show that. Goodness gracious. So let me enlarge it. I was wanting to show that. Don't go on it. Well, anyway, let me go back to the. Go back to there. All right. So anyway, so what we're gonna do over the next 4 to 8 months. You remember it's 8 months journey to Mars. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to cover an entire journey of Mars and a stay on Mars and a journey back to Earth, which would be similar. So we'll try to spend most of the time on Mars, have a few sessions, podcast on the journey to Mars, maybe 2 or 3, and most of them would be on Mars, showing the life, how things progress technology wise, and how we get the colony up and things like that. So yeah, so that's the plan going forward for about the next 8 months on there. I hope that you'll enjoy the journey. My background is working for NASA for about 30 years. So now work for Lockheed Martin Skunk Works in California. So I have, a lot of experience in this area, so I know what I'm talking about. And my specialty is structural analysis, thermal analysis, engineering analysis in general. So that would be where I'm coming from. But I've also have interest in economics, finance, and history. So I can kind of relate a lot of the political things and current events, things like that, and how it would relate to Mars. Now, what I'm thinking of trying to do is follow the journey in the Mars TV show. Characters obviously different, but try to show a similar, but maybe more in depth analysis, more in depth uh, explanatory kind of things, factual things to know, maybe some more documentaries and videos and things like that. So I hope you join us on that journey. So I think that's all I'll talk about today. We're getting about 31 minutes into it. I try to keep it to about 30 minutes. I'll be expanding the visuals and try to get more documentary kind of things going. And if you'll be able to join us on Exploration TV. Uh, these are all YouTube channels. The Only Space YouTube channel, Elon Musk, the Elon Matrix channel. All these are all family channels that we own and under the Exploration TV banner. And so, yeah, so just keep abreast of that. We'll show you in the description if you wanted to link and see some of those videos. So I'll call it there. Anyway, I hope that you have a great Saturday. Sorry for the absence last week. I wanted to spend time with family, and I needed a little break actually, and so to kind of get this content going and stuff. I think we pretty well concluded the Roman Forum. Had 20 episodes on that, about 2 or 3 or 4 on sites that are surrounding in the area of ancient Rome, more today kind of things. So yeah, I think we've kind of exhausted that. So I'm looking forward to this journey. It's kind of more in tune with what I do for a living. And yeah, so join me next week on the Portal Podcast, our journey to Mars. We're going to call it Mars Genesis. So what the reason is this would be a new planet for us that has a human life and animal and plant life. So it is in some sort, we're taking an ark just like Noah's Ark and keeping the species alive and journeying across space to a new world and transporting that life to that planet. Now, you know, there could be life on Mars already. It's mostly microbial for the most part. I doubt very seriously there anywhere there's surface life because of the radiation, the long absence without water, the low oxygen concentration, no atmosphere, just a lot of environmental conditions that I think would portend that there is no surface life. Not to say it couldn't be, but it would be hard pressed to find some. But if we could follow the water, which that's pretty much what the NASA folks have been doing for years, many years, is following the water, because they believe that if you can get to the water, liquid water, in the planet, it's probably buried several meters below. It may take some heavy equipment from miners, which is discussed in that film. National Geographic film, get some oil drillers, that kind of a thing, that can dig deep into the soil of Mars and reach those water tables in there, and probably would not be able to live on the surface of Mars because of the radiation, the meteorites and things like that, cosmic rays and stuff. So we'll probably have to live in the lava tubes of Mars and build our habitats there. So, okay. Well, that's enough for this week. Join me next week on the Portal Podcast. Y'all take it easy. We'll see you later. Bye bye.